Hello, it's Sunday the 11th of November. In this video I'm looking at the latest Thunderball result and I'm going to analyse it and make some predictions for the next draw. So the last draw was draw 2337, the machine used was Excalibur 5, set of balls 5. Nobody won the jackpot. These are the winning numbers. I correctly predicted 24 and 28. I nearly got 23 but I changed my mind. If you watched my last video you'll see that I looked at 23 but then I dismissed it, so I didn't get that one. I only got 2 numbers, so I didn't win anything. But this is my analysis of the result in draw 2337. So first of all, you can see that number 28 was most overdue for its frequency and most overdue going on the current trend. And if you look at 28, you can see that that was pointing to 24, and 24 was pointing to 28, and so I predicted that those two numbers would be coming out together. Now also Thunderball number 8 was the most overdue with the machine that was used, which was machine 5. And so if we look at number 8, then main number 3 was most overdue for its frequency to occur with number 8. And if we look at number 3, then main number 8 was most overdue for its frequency and most frequent with main number 3, which also pointed to 24 when we're looking at all machines and sets of balls. And so 28 points to 24, and Thunderball number 8 also pointed to 23 as the most frequent with the current trend machines and set of balls 5. 23, if we look at the current trend, 26 was most overdue with 23. So there was a path that led to all the numbers that were drawn, could have predicted them all. So if we'd have started with 28, gone from there to Thunderball 8 and 24, gone from Thunderball 8 to 23, from there to 26, and also from Thunderball 8 or from 24 to main number 3. So let's just have a look at the chart then. So this is what the chart looked like before the last draw. Those are some of the numbers that I was predicting. But anyway, if we narrow it down to current trend machines 5 and 6, then this is what the chart looks like. So for machines 5 and 6, that's what it looks like. So that's current trend machines. This is the one we're looking at now. So if we look at only the draws where 24 was drawn, you can see how that points to 28, standing out from all the other numbers right up there at the top. So it's the most overdue, and also measuring this area most overdue for its frequency. And if we look at 28, then we should see 24 in a similar position on that chart. So you can see how 28 and 24 will point to each other in two ways. So anyway, if we narrow it down further, so the current trend sets of balls, which is sets 5, 6, 7 and 8. Then this is what the chart looks like. You can see that number 28 is most overdue, and also most overdue for its frequency. So 28 stood out on that, 24 stood out with 28. And if we look at the Thunderballs, then machine 5, and all sets of balls. Then you can see that Thunderball number 8 was most overdue. So that's this one that we're looking at. So if we look at the current trend machines and set of balls 5 with Thunderball number 8, so that means narrowing it down to sets 5, 6, 7 and 8 and machine 5, only the draws where Thunderball number 8 was drawn. Looking at the main numbers, then we should get a chart that looks like this. So set 5, current trend machines, Thunderball number 8. And that's supposed to say, oh hang on, I've got that backwards, haven't I? Right, I should be looking at current trend machines and set of balls 5. And then we should see 23 most frequent, and there it is. So 23 out of just 6 draws was the most frequent on that. So that's the way that 23 stood out, making it predictable. Now if we look at a chart for just the draws where 23 was drawn, and the current trend, which is machines 5 and 6, and sets of balls 5, 6, 7 and 8. Then on the main number side, there's number 26, most overdue, and Thunderball number 8, most frequent. So those are the ways in which those numbers stood out. And finally, the chart that points to main number 3 is when we're looking at all machines and sets of balls, and either main number 24 or Thunderball number 8. So let's have a look at that then. So we've got all machines and sets of balls. And Thunderball number 8. If we just look at the main numbers, then you can see main number 3 was most overdue for its frequency. And when we look at the chart for main number 24, we should see the same thing. We should see number 3 in a similar position. This time it's most overdue, which means it's got the largest vertical component on this chart. So if we look at the chart for main number 3, you can see there's 24 most overdue for its frequency, so that's that one. And if we look at the Thunderball side, so we can ignore the main numbers and just look at the Thunderballs, then you can see that number 8 stands out vertically, horizontally, and it was also most overdue for its frequency. So in 3 ways, Thunderball number 8 stood out in 3 different ways with main number 3. So quite an interesting shaped chart, that one. So you can see how all the numbers could have possibly been predicted from that. So that concludes my analysis of the most recent draw. So now I'm going to have a look at the main chart for all machines and sets of balls, and I'm going to have a look at the Thunderballs. So at the moment we're just looking at a summary of the draw history since the main numbers went up to 39, but since there's always been 14 Thunderballs, we can look at the full draw history on this chart, and you can see it's quite a big difference between the full draw history and the draw history since the main numbers went up to 39. So looking at this chart, you can see that Thunderball number 11 is most overdue for its frequency. Thunderball number 5 is most frequent, and Thunderball number 10 is most overdue. Which is different to when we look at the more recent history, and the difference being that more recently Thunderball number 3 has been more frequent, but overall Thunderball number 5 was most frequent, so you can see the difference. So my first choice when I'm picking my numbers for the next draw, first thing I'm going to choose is Thunderball number 11. So this is my analysis of the full draw history at the moment. So these are the numbers that are most outstanding, and if we just look at the Thunderball numbers, then you can see that Thunderball number 11 is most overdue for its frequency, although Thunderball number 10 is most overdue for its frequency when just looking at the current trend machines, which are 5 and 6. So if we look at the main numbers, then you can see that number 6 is most overdue for its frequency going on the current trend. 21's most frequent. Main number 5 is most overdue, and to show you what that looks like on a chart, so we can see where all the numbers are. This is what the chart looks like now. When it's finished calculating the processes. So there's number 5, most overdue. There's number 30, most frequent. And the one that's most overdue for its frequency is 13 on this chart. That's that one. Now if we narrow it down to the current trend machines, because we know that it's going to be machine 5 or machine 6 in the next draw. If the trend continues, then the chart looks more like that, and now it's main number 6 that's most overdue for its frequency, and 22 is most frequent on that one. So on the Thunderball side, there's Thunderball number 10, most overdue and most overdue for its frequency. But I'm still going to go for Thunderball number 11 because it's more frequent than Thunderball number 10. So if we look at a chart for Thunderball number 11, and we just look at the main numbers, then with the current trend machines, on the chart you can see that number 6 and number 13, number 30, these are all on the edge of the chart, all these numbers. And 30 is the one that stands out the most, and it's also most frequent on the main chart. So at the moment we're looking at this one. So I picked number 30 in the last draw, I also picked 24 and 28, and they did come out, but I didn't get any other numbers with them, so didn't win anything for two numbers. So if we look at numbers paired with number 30, then looking at the current trend machines, looks like that. And if we narrow it down to the current trend sets of balls as well, you can see 35 is most overdue for its frequency, but 32 most overdue, and now it's 22 and 4 that are most frequent. And when we're looking at the analyzer, then we don't see which is the most frequent because there's two numbers competing for the same spot, and it only shows the most outstanding number if there's one number. So out of the numbers that I picked last time, I'm not going to keep 24 and 28 because they've already come out. I seem to remember I picked 13. I don't think I picked 6, so I might change one of my numbers to 6. I seem to remember picking number 1. So the question is, what number? What was the other number? I can't remember now. I think I might pick one of these numbers. So anyway, that just about concludes this video. I don't know what other number to pick yet, so I might just go for 17 because it's most overdue with main number 6. But that's when we're looking at all machines and sets of arms. But going on the current trend, you can see that main number 31, which is one of the most frequent numbers, has never been drawn with number 6, and these two machines are 4 sets of balls, so I might just pick 31 for that reason. So let's see what coincidences we get from that. So these are the numbers that it leads to, and these are all the coincidences so far based on the numbers that I've picked. So that's all the coincidences. So I'll leave it at that for now and wrap this video up. So look out for the next one, and bye for now.